I cannot stand Mr. Baseball.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I knew it.
Here we go.
Yeah, I try to throw a little bit back.
Love that logo, love that jersey, love that color scheme, everything about it.
Welcome to episode 70 of the Not Another Sports Podcast. My name is Jason.
I'm David.
And this is the home of sports talk for the average Joe. Real quick, I just want to say congratulations to the Williams Valley 10U Red Lady Vikes on going into the finals of their softball playoffs. Congratulations to them. And congratulations to my daughter Gianna for hitting the walk-off double to win the game tonight.
I bet you were jumping through the... Oh, I bet you were on cloud nine at that point.
I was, and I want to add one more thing. All of you parents who are bringing speakers to play walk-up music for your kids, I got a podcast. Suck it.
You don't say.
All right, let's get this ball rolling. So I think,
and actually, the sad part is that's mild compared to what you were telling me earlier.
I wasn't the one using foul language in front of children.
No, but
it was a representative for a different town's team who was using foul language around children. Anyway, I think you didn't have anything in the first half slot. I think this is probably one of the biggest sports news stories of the week. The PGA merged with LIV, LIV, whatever you want to call it. They merged with their rival, and it has been quite the controversy.
Yeah, I've been reading stuff on this, and from what I've been hearing, it's been kind of a back and forth thing where I was reading like some people or some players in the PGA are like, listen, they left. Don't let them back in. That's what I've been hearing. I mean, they left.
Well, I mean, let's just dive right in here. So, one of the biggest issues in regards to the PGA Tour and LIV is that LIV is backed by a country that doesn't have a great human rights record. They were involved with 9/11.
Yeah.
They played a role in a journalist being killed. And the PGA Tour's commissioner, Jay Monahan, took a moral stance. When LIV started, he said, look, if you play with them, you can't play with us. You're taking money that is immoral, that is corrupt, all this stuff. Here we are 2 years later, and he's shaking hands with the very same people he's claiming are X, Y, and Z. If I was a player on the PGA Tour and I stayed because the person running my tour is telling me that if you do this, you're gone from here, you're this type of person because you're taking this money, and I stayed, and now my commissioner is shaking hands with these very same people, and no one talked to any of the players about this, I'd be a little pissed off. I got to be honest with you. Because you sold me a bill of goods, and now you've gone back on your word when you took a moral high ground, and you're taking this money that you said was dirty 2 years ago. It's kind of messed up.
It's a double standard.
Oh, yeah.
It's they do as I say, not as I do. I mean, well, you're 100% right. I mean, people are leaving to go to where they're going to get money from these specific people who were involved in these specific acts that are not good. Hence why we're kind of doing it this, saying these words like these specific acts. We hate politics. This is not a political podcast whatsoever.
No, but unfortunately there is that aspect behind the financial backing.
It is, but
LIV.
I
can't ignore it.
No, you can't ignore it, but it's trying not to go too deep into it.
Right.
I mean, you can go into it, but just don't go down I just hate going down the rabbit hole with it.
You're good.
Because I hate
This was
politics.
too big of a
begin
story
with.
to ignore.
Because I hate, like I said, I hate politics to begin with. But, so basically whoever went to LIV, I don't know. In my opinion, they shouldn't be allowed back on the PGA. This should never have happened because, like we said earlier, PGA was against all this, and now they're shaking hands.
Sorry, I had to burp.
So
unfortunately, and I'll explain. I've seen a few clips of LIV. You know what? I've heard it pronounced LIV, and I've heard it pronounced LIV. I'm not even sure what the correct pronunciation is.
I don't even know either because I heard it pronounced both ways as well. It's like, what is it?
We were over at my parents' house one weekend, and my dad had it on. So he had it on. Obviously, I'm not going to tell him to turn the channel. It's his house. So we watched some of it. And it's basically like if we went golfing. They're playing music. They're having fun. It's relaxed. It's basically like professional golfers just kind of dicking around is really what it came across as. And they're getting paid just stupid amounts of money for it. There's an audience for that. There's an audience who wants professional golf to be fun and to not be as stuffy as the PGA Tour can be. And maybe part of that is the PGA Tour not reading the room, not understanding there's an audience who wants to watch, who wants to be there, but don't feel welcomed.
I mean, the PGA has always been almost like a members only thing.
Pretty much.
And when you get to where you have a golf league, your tour, whatever you want to call it, LIV, live ish, then that's pretty much like you said. It's like us going golfing, dicking around, having a few beers while we're on the course. Now that'd be neat to see, though. That should be a tournament, the drunken tournament.
It's a drunken tournament. Oh no, I played in the Orwin Open once before, so
I can only imagine what that was.
It wasn't good. Anyway,
doesn't surprise me.
I completely understand why there are players on the PGA Tour who are upset. They're mad.
Oh yeah, no, the one that I really saw when I was reading the articles on this was Roy.
Yeah,
I'm drawing a blank on his last name. Starts
Rory
with an M.
McIlroy.
That's him. I knew it started with an M. He was the biggest one I saw where it was giving some, even I just saw pictures on Facebook of him saying they left. They shouldn't be allowed back.
Yeah, and he's right.
I mean, I'm not going against them. I'm just saying, like, that. Yeah, I said the same. Yeah, they left. I mean, this is not like, oh, the grass is greener on this side, I'm coming back. I'm sorry, you signed your, you
made your choice.
Exactly.
They made their choice, and look, we all have families. And me and you and I would assume most of our listeners were all middle class dads to some degree, or we're just middle class guys. Everyone has to make decisions based on their own interests. So I can't fault someone for taking a multi-million-dollar deal just because I wouldn't. Okay? But in taking that money, you are taking on the risks associated with that decision. So if you took that risk, yeah, you shouldn't be allowed back.
Yeah. Well, looking at some of the names, I mean, that did the LIV, one of the biggest names is Phil Mickelson.
Phil Mickelson.
He is one of the biggest names. Dustin Johnson, right there are two big names. Bubba Watson. How many times do we hear them on the, hear their names on the PGA? So many.
And again, like I said, we all have our own reasons for why we do things.
I mean, I've heard people left the PGA just because of, like we said earlier, too stuffy.
There are...
I mean, everybody has their reasons for leaving. That's one of them I heard. Who knows what else?
But
there could be so many.
The PGA itself does not exactly have a great history of doing the right thing. We'll put it that way. They've definitely played at courses where even 30 years ago, Tiger Woods would not have been welcomed.
Yeah.
So it's a little there's just a lot of hypocrisy, double standards with the PGA Tour, with all of this on both good and bad.
Well, yeah, it's a double standard on both, with any of this right now, where you got like we said earlier, where you had one tour saying, "Screw you guys, we're going our direction. You stay yours," because of they want to stay theirs because of their beliefs. And then now all of a sudden they're shaking hands. What's what? Is this going to be a bigger chaos than we're actually seeing?
Taking the unsavory aspect out of this, which it's hard to do. I think anyone listening would agree with us. The idea is that this is good for golf because it means that the players will get better compensation as far as payment and winnings. I think even though LIV had that financial backing, look, they were on the CW. They were on the freaking CW network with no sponsors because no sponsors wanted to touch LIV Golf. LIV Golf was kind of clinging onto a life raft in the ocean.
Well, here's the funny part. I was just reading more of the I just came across this in the Wikipedia page. Tiger Woods turned down a $700 to $800 million offer.
Yep.
To join LIV.
Yeah.
So if you can have that much money to throw around and then, like you said, go on the CW with no sponsors because nobody wants to touch it because of what it is, what's it going to do now when they merge?
Well, you got to think that CW contract's null and void. Here's some things from that situation, from that league. I think they need. It's absolute bullshit in 2023 on hot summer days that the PGA Tour makes golfers wear pants. It sounds absolutely stupid coming out of my mouth, what I just said. Buffy, this game's gone to hell because these men are wearing shorts now. Let them wear freaking shorts.
On a hot day, yeah, I'd want to wear shorts.
We're talking about the people who are upset that someone yells Baba Booey when someone tees off. Okay? Unfortunately, while clinging to those people, you created a situation where LIV could exist.
Mashed potatoes. That was one of my favorite ones when somebody just yells. It's just like.
I like Baba Booey, but I'm a Stern Show fan. Grew up on Stern with my dad and my grandfather. So Baba Booey kills me every time I hear it. But golf, look, anyone who plays golf, very few people that I know outside of like my dad play golf at a competitive level where they're like, they're at least making par every time they play. Most people I play with don't even sniff par. We're out there, exactly. We're out there just to have a good time, to relax, to have fun, have a couple drinks, play a little music on our cart, and just go out and have a good time.
Run
and
over
that,
ropes.
Dave is still laughing about that. But what I'm saying is that fun aspect can translate on TV. And that can draw more viewers in, and the PGA Tour is short-sighted by sticking to the Muffies and the Reginalds out there who are watching the show. And, I think I'll have the red wine with the duck while I watch so-and-so tee off on the 10th.
See, here's the thing what golf needs. They need to bring back the average, or not back, but they need to add the average Joe scenario. Like the average Joe fun aspect of it. Like one of us walking up, you know what? Bring back the John Daly. Bring back the John Daly
he's
people.
Still there.
Yeah, no, but bring people like him. Where you just mess with people and just, here's a sponsorship. Some guy cracks open a beer while golfing. Right, there's a sponsorship right there. Somebody cracks open a cigar.
Well, I think beer ads are part of golf sponsorship.
Yeah, but do you see the players drink the beer while golfing? That would make it so much more interesting.
Well, they just have a live ad too while they're doing it. I'm gonna crack open a cold Miller Lite here on the Miller Lite 17th hole.
A drink per hole. That could get ugly real quick. Have the beer cart drive around every so often. Somebody stop in did they get a hot dog off the cart?
And Bob Smith is in the bushes on a terrible first drive. And speaking of bush, you too can crack open an ice cold bush at your local beer distributor.
Hey,
we're having a heck of a run of me doing like commercials on the show. You realize this, right? Someone call me up. I will do commercials for you.
If you just bring a fun aspect to the game, instead of just
and
the normal.
Again, taking the unsavory aspect away from LIV, I think that was part of the goal, was to loosen the game up a bit, which isn't a bad idea. It's just the way it was brought about wasn't a good idea. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
It is. It definitely is.
I think there's a lot that needs to be unpacked before things get figured out and before we really understand the whole situation. But as of right now, Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, kind of looks like a dickbag. So you can't take a moral high ground and then 2 years be shaking hands with the people that you're saying are unsavory. Just kind of throwing that out there. Maybe you might want to think about the words you choose next time. If the ultimate end game is to merge and have them pay for your stuff, just maybe.
Because
once you throw a moral and ethical card in there, you kind of got to
stick with
stay by it.
Hell, this is 23. Who does that anymore?
Some of us still do.
Yeah, but big businesses, you think they will? No.
Well, some of us don't have money to.
Well, that's the thing. That's, it's whatever's going to make the more money is what it's going to be.
Well, that's a bigger issue for not this show. So I think I'm good on this topic before we go any further down the dead rabbit hole here.
Speaking of dead rabbit, have the.
Do you like Irish whiskey?
I can imagine somebody just pulling out a bottle of whiskey out of their bag. Here we go. Take a shot. Okay, it's on the putt. Which ball am I going for?
When you take a shot, make sure you take that shot with dead rabbit bourbon. A fine Irish whiskey at that. Okay, stop, because I'll do this all night.
Yeah, you will. After so many. Which ball do I hit? There's only one there. No, there's not. There's three.
And
one
Shooter McGavin duffs it. What a horrible thing to happen on free bottle of bourbon day at the golf course.
Oh, Jason, the promotional expert.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, but I think before we go down any more of the rabbit hole, you good?
I'm fantastic, brother.
That's the end of the first half. We'll be right back.